Hi, welcome back. Now that we have a QuickBooks data file, we'll need to set up users for anybody who's going to be working in your QuickBooks data file. Each person using QuickBooks should have their own unique name and password. That way you can track what each person is doing to help identify any problems. The admin user is created when you set up a data file. Let's look in QuickBooks. So to set up a user, you will go to Company, and then down to Set Up Users and Passwords, and then click Set Up Users. You'll have to enter your password for the admin. You probably created one when you set up your data file, and then click OK. So now our admin password is logged in. That's me. I'm logged in right now as the admin. I'm going to click on Add User, and I'll enter my name as the user ID, and I will set up a password. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Now here you can say what areas of QuickBooks you want this user to have access to. Either all areas, selected areas, or if you're setting up a user for your external accountant, you can choose that. I'm going to say selected areas because then we'll be able to see each screen in the setup. So now you'll go through each section of QuickBooks and you can tell QuickBooks whether or not that you want full access, partial access, or no access to that area. So for an accounts receivable, I might say give this person full access. And then you can indicate whether or not you want them to be able to view credit card numbers. Then I'll click Next. For accounts payable, this person may have no access to accounts payable. So I'll select No Access and Next. Do you want them to have access to your checking accounts and credit cards in your chart of accounts? You might say Selected. You might want them to be able to create transactions only or create and print transactions. I'm going to say Create Transactions Only. Do you want them to have access to your inventory? I'll say Full Access. Do you want them to have access to time? Access to payroll and employee information. And then sensitive accounting activities. So this would be transferring funds, making journal entries, and online banking. We'll say full access for that. And then to reports. Do you want this person to be able to generate reports or selective access where they could create reports or create and print reports? I'm going to say full access. Now here's where you can indicate whether or not you want this person, this user, to have the ability to delete or change transactions after they've already occurred. You can either say yes, you want them to have that ability, or no, you don't. And now on the last screen, you'll get a summary of what the settings were for each area. You can scroll down through and you can see if the person has the ability to create those types of transactions, to print them, or to have them on reports, or create reports for them. Once you're happy with your settings, you'll go ahead and click Finish. And now you can see your user in the list. If you wanted to delete that user, you could just click on Delete User. If you wanted to edit or make changes, you could click on Edit User, and you could make changes in here. And it'll walk you through the same scenario, those 10 screens. You could make whatever changes you wanted. Or if you just wanted to view what access that user had, you could click on View. Okay, so that user is set up. We could add as many users as we need. You can have up to 5 active users in your QuickBooks data file. If somebody leaves your employee, then you might want to go ahead and delete that user from the user list. or at least go in and edit that user and give it, you know, almost no access, as little as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click close to save my changes, and now that user would be able to log in.